following takes place between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. Events occur in real time.
A whole week off. But what to do? Oh, I'm so bored. If it wasn't for the terrible boredom. Time Crisis? Time Crisis 2? Time Crisis Crisis Zone? Thomas Paine's The Crisis? Time Crisis Project Titan? Time Crisis 3? The Cuban Missile Crisis? Time Crisis Raising Storm complete with Time Crisis 4 and Dead Storm Pirates? Games, all the games I never need, all the games I want, all the games.
It's time to play Time Crisis games, a kick-ass rail shooter series born in arcades and raised by PlayStations.
The first Time Crisis arcade game appeared in 1995. It was a straightforward rail shooter with a few exciting new features.
The Time Crisis arcade cabinet came equipped with a pedal, which allowed the player to take cover and safely reload without getting shot.
The gun featured a blowback function, which simulated a real-life gun recoil.
And of course, there's the time feature. Each level is timed, and the object is to destroy all of the enemies in the level before the timer runs out.
When you're out of time, you're dead.
The following takes place between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m.
Time Crisis was released on the PlayStation 1 in 1997, and it can be played with a gun-con controller, a light gun which is surprisingly accurate.
The game features pixely graphics and polygon enemies, and unfortunately, it's only one player.
In Time Crisis, we are introduced to the VSSE, an international intelligence agency on a mission to rescue the president's daughter. How original.
You play as a VSSE agent named Richard Miller. No, not Dick Miller, the actor from such films as Gremlins and Gremlins 2, The New Batch. Richard is pitted against a truly annoying evil boss named Wild Dog, who reappears throughout the series.
Since the PlayStation has no pedal to use for ducking, you instead press and release a button on the side of the gun con, which is a little awkward, but you get used to it.
Time Crisis is pretty damn difficult for a rail shooter, and with limited lives and continues, we just can't beat it.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Time Crisis 2 was released in arcades in 1997, and on the PlayStation 2 in 2001. It uses a Gun-Con 2 controller, which, while not perfect, is also surprisingly accurate for a light gun.
The Gun-Con 2 allows you to use the D-pad on the back to go in and out of cover, so you only need one hand to play.
The best thing about Time Crisis 2 is that it's actually two-player. However, two-player mode requires a split screen, which makes everything really tiny and hard to see.
Why so small? Couldn't they have just stretched it out and made it taller?
At least the graphics are slightly less pixely and polygony.
Well, the Gun-Con 2's calibration is excellent in a one-player game. Calibrating the two players becomes complicated. Usually I can shoot the top of the screen, but Jen can't.
You play as VSSE agents Keith Martin and Robert Baxter, who are on a mission to stop an evil corporation from launching a nuclear missile.
Keith and Bob make their way to the corporation's headquarters, blasting polygon enemies and once again hunting down Wild Dog, who now bears a striking resemblance to Goldman from House of the Dead 2. First boss appears to be Michael Clark Duncan, who picks up giant missiles and lobs them right at us. Talk about overkill.
You can now keep playing to earn more continues until you eventually unlock free play, so it's much easier to beat than the original Time Crisis.
A tense theatrical score plays throughout the game until the end credits, during which the Batman theme can be clearly heard.
And the credits, just like the cutscenes, are split screen. Why is that necessary?
PlayStation 2 disc comes with bonus arcade games like Quick and Crash, which is actually 2-player.
And Shoot Away 2, which just sucks.
And Crisis Mission, which is basically just Time Crisis.
And Agent Trainer, which helps you improve your shooting by measuring your accuracy while shooting a target.
The following takes place between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m.
The first of many Time Crisis spin-offs was Crisis Zone, released in arcades in 1999 and on the PlayStation 2 in 2004.
Crisis Zone is only one player, unless you get to 55% completion and unlock double gun mode. Unfortunately, that's not as easy as it sounds.
You now use a machine gun instead of the standard handgun. This gun apparently causes a lot of smoke, which flashes on the screen with every rapid shot. The effect is sort of like a strobe light, and we're guessing it might have caused some seizures in a few late 90s teens.
You can turn on flash reduction, but that just makes the smoke stay steady on the screen, so you can't see a damn thing. So, it's useless.
The following takes place between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m.
Another spin-off, Time Crisis Project Titan, was released on the PlayStation 1 in 2001. It's your standard Time Crisis game, but with greatly improved graphics. You fire at polygon enemies and duck to reload.
One new feature was the option to move from left to right by shooting at arrows on the sides of the screen. You have to keep moving around to make sure you've killed all the hidden enemies.
Project Titan is much easier to play than previous games, but unfortunately, it's only one player. Lame.
Following takes place between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Time Crisis 3 was released in arcades and the PlayStation 2 in 2003. We got to play an arcade version at a local movie theater.
Wild Dog is back for more carnage, and now he has gray hair.
The plot has something to do with some missiles and people and like an island. And it doesn't matter.
The split screen is now even smaller than it was in Time Crisis 2. Seriously?
But now you can switch between different guns, including a shotgun, machine gun, and this cool grenade launcher that's handy for blowing up bosses.
Unfortunately, all of the guns have limited bullets, except for the lame standard handgun, so you have to ration your bullets and collect as many as you can.
The following takes place between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Time Crisis 4 was released in arcades in 2006 and on the PlayStation 3 in 2007. So now, instead of a classic light gun, we have to use the PlayStation Move controller.
In true Time Crisis fashion, Time Crisis 4 features an incredibly tiny two-player split screen.
Really? In 2007, we still haven't developed full-screen technology for Time Crisis games?
2,000 years later, we've come no further.
Like in Time Crisis 3, you can switch between different guns, and now you can unlock infinite ammo, so you don't have to keep reloading.
You play as Giorgio and Evan, one of whom bears a striking resemblance to Ellen DeGeneres, and the other one is a dead ringer for 90s Johnny Depp.
Like in Project Titan, sometimes you have to move right or left to find enemies. Other characters tell you which way to go, but apparently they don't know the difference between left and right because they're always wrong.
You fight enemies called terabytes, which, as we all know, are equal to 1,024 gigabytes. Get it? Terabytes, gigabytes?
Yeah, good one.
The following takes place between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m.
Yet another spin-off, Time Crisis Raising Storm, was released in arcades in 2009 and on the PlayStation 3 in 2010. Ew, it's modern.
Exactly how does one raise a storm? Are we raising a storm to the ground, or is the storm raising us? That's deep.
Or are we raising a storm from a baby tropical storm into an adult hurricane? They grow up so fast.
Or is it a storm of raisins?
Raisin.
Raising Storm features modern-day sleek graphics designed after circles were invented, set to a soundtrack of heavy metal.
The busy graphics leave us older gamers a little disoriented. With the massive hordes of enemies on the screen, it's hard to tell what's going on. At least it's not a split screen.
Not only are there millions of enemies to shoot, but there are also about 1,000 different guys shouting things at you all at once. It reminds me of Christmas with my family.
One guy keeps saying, I got a bad feeling about this. Even while we're in the middle of fighting a boss, I mean, really? You have a bad feeling about this giant robot that's shooting at us? Nah, I'm sure he just wants to be friends.
You're equipped with a machine gun and a shield, which replaces the duck and cover action in previous games.
You can shoot objects in the background, but you have to avoid blowing away other soldiers and people you're supposed to rescue. Oops.
I think this soldier at the end of the game nicely summed up Raising Storm for us.
That sucked.
The following takes place between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Time Crisis Dead Storm Pirates was released on the PlayStation 3 in 2010 as part of a 3-pack with Time Crisis 4 and Raising Storm. So now we've raised the storm, and the storm's dead? It all makes sense now.
Dead Storm Pirates is unlike any other Time Crisis game. This time you play as pirates with golden guns, which are like machine guns that fire lasers and never run out of ammo.
Unlike other Time Crisis games, this one was designed for 2 players. There's no split screen and no taking cover. Sometimes you're even required to combine both players' firepower to defeat an enemy.
You could call Dead Storm Pirates Time Crisis for Dummies, because it's incredibly easy, to the point where it's almost boring.
The characters say the most ridiculous and idiotic things, over-explaining the gameplay so much that you'd have to be brain dead not to know how to play it.
It's so unbelievably stupid that it crosses over into being really entertaining. So we thought we'd let this game speak for itself.
It's not quite over yet. They're coming! Continue shooting! Keep the trigger pulled!
Great! We're the best!
He's a ghost, trapped in a sword. Shoot the sword! I'll tell you all about him later. Shoot the sword! He's a ghost, trapped in a sword. His body is just a sham. That is a sword phantom. Evil swords that devour souls. Dark swords of horror.
Yeah! Way to go! Well, I give you credit for this.
Pull the trigger over and over again.
Not a single bone to be allowed aboard this ship.
Yes, sir!
Huh? A single bone?
Hello, they're skeletons.
Fighting back! Shoot them all! The two of you, shoot at him together! Yes! Keep shooting exactly the way you are! This is the last monster we've got to fight to get to the Poseidon's breath! Come on! I'm so proud of you! Keep going like this and you've got him! Just remember how you fought him in the past. There's no need for me to speak anymore.
What? Wait up! Pori Pori!
The following takes place between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yes, and Thursday, yes, and Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday, and the best thing, the very best thing, is that there's time now. It's all the time I need. All the time I want. Time. There's time enough at last. These aren't glasses. That's not fair! That's not fair at all! There was time now. It was all the time that I needed. It's not fair. It's not fair.
The best laid plans of mice and men, and Chris Meserve. The tall man in the glasses who wanted nothing but time. Chris Meserve, now just a part of a smashed landscape, just a piece of the rubble, just a fragment of what man has deeded to himself. Mr. Chris Meserve, in the Crisis Zone.
Get up most every day and wipe my sleepy eyes. So many things that I have to do. Don't wanna go to work, don't wanna go to school today. I just wanna sit around with you and play some PS2. Wish I could just stay home all day, sit in a chair and drift away. Grab my controller and start to play from a stack of my favorite games. But each day it always goes the same. This growing up is getting lame. Better get dressed and on my way, or I'll be late for work again. Don't wanna be late for work again. Why don't you just call and say I'm sick, 'cause I got no time at all to do the things I want. Got no time at all to play the games I want. Got no time at all. I just can't live like this. Got no time at all. I think I'm crazy. It's not like the world conceive itself. These fictional people need my help. There's always bad guys on the move. Kidnap somebody's daughter too. They'll kill us all if I don't act fast. Shoot anyone I can to pass. Each level gets harder than the last. I wish I had more continues. There's never enough continues. Goddamn, this game is hard. I've got no time at all to do the things I and shoot, you gotta duck and shoot. Pick the right gun to kill these dudes. Duck and shoot, you gotta duck and shoot. Or they will kill you. I've got no time at all. I've got no time at all.
There you go.
Oh my god. You just broke everything.
Teddy did it!